Hello everyone and welcome to CaC Character Showcase, doing something a little bit different today. I am looking back at my old character sheets. This you're seeing right now is my very first character I ever made. We're going to analyze it. This was for the 3.5 system of D&D, where I really don't know a whole lot about D&D. I have a friend here to walk me through all this.
Hello everyone, my name is Bryan Dorkasaurus. You can find me on Twitter at UltraBlackOne or as UltraBlackOne on many of my other social media accounts. I've been playing D&D for almost 25 years now. I'm familiar with AD&D. I'm familiar with 3.5. I'm familiar with 4th edition, 5th edition. I've played Pathfinder in both 1st and 2nd edition, as well as plenty of other RPGs, including Vampire the Masquerade, Call of Cthulhu, and some newer ones like Symbaroum or Cult Divinity Lost. So I've got quite a bit of experience under my belt.
And I do not. So, he has never seen any of my old characters before. Like, he has dungeon mastered for me in our current Curse to Strahd campaign. But I thought it'd be really funny to show him some of my original stuff, just to see his reaction. This is all from around 2010, also a little bit after I got out of high school, where he's never seen it before. I'm slowly going to send him stuff just to get his natural reaction. So if you would, go look at that image real fast.
Can't wait.
While he's looking through that and picking out what's wrong with this completely, I'm going to talk about it a little bit. The reason why it's on paper, like normal fucking scratch paper pretty much, is because at the time no one really had, or I didn't have a good printer, so I could not print out my own fucking character sheet. It was pretty much one person within the group had a good printer, but where all of us kind of didn't have a job, it was kind of hard to facilitate the use of paper in D&D.
I kind of noticed first thing, what the hell is your class?
Okay,
because it looked like crazy MF, as in like crazy motherfucker.
Yes, actually. So, context to this character that you're seeing right now. This was the first time playing D&D at all. I didn't even have like a basic understanding of what the fuck D&D was, because I was that guy who didn't really pay attention to anything outside of like video games, stuff like that. So when I got invited to D&D finally, because they needed another person, they lured me with the prospect of you can make whatever fucking character you want. So I was like, okay, I don't really understand how to make it. How about, someone make it for me? And the Dungeon Master, like, my Dungeon Master at the time was really cool. Like, he's like, you give me a concept, I'll fucking make whatever you want right here now. So where I am a huge fan of Resident Evil, I threw out a Resident Evil character to him. He had never played Resident Evil at all. So he didn't understand what the fuck I was saying, so he just called it the crazy motherfucker. And like just crazy, with two Z's.
I noticed that. Yeah, crazy motherfucker.
Crazy motherfucker. But yeah, like, I'm assuming this is motherfucker, like, and I think the original level we all started at was like 11 or 10 or something like that.
It looks like you level, what is that, 11?
Yeah, 11, and then I erased it and put 12. So yeah, probably started at 11. Because that's one thing we did back then, is like we didn't start at level 1 or 2. We immediately like went to like 10 or something like that.
Well, I mean, if you're just going to make shit up, then yeah, why not?
Well, this was supposed to be a long campaign that never finished, sadly. But I think around that time, everyone wanted to have like stats, like good stats and good abilities, and didn't want to earn stuff. Because everyone always had that backstory of like, oh yeah, I'm a famous adventurer and shit like that. No one wanted to be the Bob who just like stopped being a farm boy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, I if I remember right, that is how it went down, and it was kind of funny because I annoyed everyone at the table, because they're like, hey, make whatever the fucking character you want. So I originally listed so many other things down for this character that I was like, no, you can't do that because we're starting at level 11. And the idea of that didn't like hit me because I really didn't play a whole lot of RPGs around this time. So
Well, I mean, I took a look at this sheet and immediately I thought to myself, like, did he make fucking Wolverine from the X-Men? Because your HP is like 174 and you've got like 20 regeneration, which is crazy.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, is he just like the group's damage sponge? Because your AC is only 12, so you're gonna get hit.
Pretty much. Like what it was is like for the people who play Resident Evil, what the concept I settled on was William Birkin when he transforms into a G mutant. So this character has the ability to mutate at will and grow claws because the DM was like, sure, fuck it, why not? We just want you playing. And what was hilarious is this is a group of min-maxers. One especially hated this fucking character just because of the HP and the regeneration. There's other papers I will show you. This is not even his final form.
Oh god.
Be like, wait to
That's what to do, bub.
snick. The part on the left that's like X'd out is because I eventually got hold of a character sheet, so I transferred some of it over. But this is just like what I kind of started out with originally. So we got improved crit, combat reflexes, run, power attack, cleave, great cleave. Some of my items, protector ring, nice boots and pants. Because for some reason I had to be this guy where like, no, I'm not wearing a fucking shirt. Boots and pants. That's all I got. So there's like, okay, we'll try to figure out how to give you armor so you don't get fucked up. And also apologize by spelling. I don't spell very well.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine.
And you can definitely tell like his handwriting and my handwriting because I loved this DM so much just because he was very helpful and the stories he actually did were pretty fun. But yeah, the rapiers I had were just to be sold. The hourglass gave me a haste once a day, so I just flipped it over and it just gave me haste. History books, which was just generic history books. See, plate plus 20 charisma, use magic device 20. I don't know what that means. K history 25 an hour. I don't know what the fuck that means. It's been such a long time. Like,
oh my god.
Like I legit was just, I don't remember some of this, but I was really proud of the name Kerbis Hawkwing. I thought that was a pretty unique name.
Yeah, I like that name.
Yeah.
I will say though, you never forget your first DM. You know, even to this day, I still remember my first DM.
I'm so glad like he was my first DM. Like the other DMs I've had have turned out to be kind of bad. You have been that exception, so I do appreciate that, Brian.
It is my pleasure. I'm actually a little surprised that since you guys are like starting at like level 11 or whatnot, that like he didn't give you Supreme Cleave.
See, like all that stuff, I do not know anything about. So what is like Supreme? Is that better than Great Cleave or Greater Cleave?
Okay, so here's how it works. With Cleave, and it's been a while since 3.5, so maybe this is not exactly how it's worded. But with Cleave, whenever you, like swing and you hit an enemy, you get to essentially, if there's another enemy right next to them, you get to hit that enemy as well. And I believe it's only for like the first level of Cleave, like you only get like one additional enemy sort of thing, and you actually have to hit the enemy to do so. Great Cleave, if I'm not mistaken, I believe you can hit multiple enemies, but they all have to be within like a certain distance of you. So like, they all got to be like circled around you basically.
That sounds about right because I actually have a story about Cleave and why I love it so much for this character. But before we get to that, before I start telling stories about this character and stuff like that, anything else like you look at and you go like, what the fuck? Does the skills seem okay with survival 9, balance 9, appraise 8, climb 9?
Everything looks a little low, honestly, for
really
3.5.
okay.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I remember like 3.5 being way more like intense as far as like how many skill points you get and everything else. So like,
yeah,
I don't know, like it looks a little low, honestly.
That's interesting.
I mean, granted, I have no idea which skills are in your class because I have no idea what kind of class crazy motherfucker is.
Well, see, here's going to be the fun thing. I'm going to send you the second page.
Okay.
That's handwritten, and I'm also going to send you the third page. Both of those are his level ups tree.
Okay. Now, what I was saying when it comes to Supreme Cleave, if you get Supreme Cleave, which I believe was only in, maybe it was Ultimate Warrior Handbook, but or what was it? Ultimate Adventure? I don't remember which book it was in. But Supreme Cleave gave you the option to take a 5-foot step in between the people you hit. So essentially, as long as they were all in a line, you could essentially hit somebody, and it's like, oh, sweet, I cleave. And then you could take a 5-foot step, hit another person, and so you could just keep going. You could move infinitely with Supreme Cleave.
Yeah. See, I think that's actually what I had. Because I'll go ahead and tell the story. We broke out of a prison, and there was guards that swarmed us. I managed to get initiative. By the way, I didn't have dice of my own, so I borrowed around the table. I still call bullshit on the dice I picked up, because there's no way this should have been possible. 5 guards came to us, told us hey, you need to stop, you need to stop and go back to your fucking cells. I won the initiative order, so I went first. So I'm like, I want to cleave these motherfuckers. How they explained it to me, and I never looked this up, so apologies out there for people who get mad at this. I never looked this up, but I was just going by what they were telling me. With Greater Cleave, if I critted and then confirmed the crit, I could do it again. So what happened was, with these dice I borrowed from the group of dice that was on the table, I critted and also confirmed the crit 5 times to kill all the guards. Needless to say, the dice I borrowed from the person at the group, I never got to touch those dice again.
Of course not.
Of course not. Because I was like,
Which actually goes a long way to explain some of your bad roll. You used up all your luck at the first time you were at the table.
Yeah, I know, right? And it was such a cool moment, because I could tell in the DM's eyes this was supposed to be a really badass okay, what are they gonna do with the guards? And here's my crazy motherfucker. I just cleave them all with my claw, and he just goes, okay, yeah, you guys walk free, I guess.
I like how they come up to you though, and they're all like, "Hey, go back to your cell, please."
Yeah, it's hey, stop thief.
They're just like, man, I'm not even full time. Come on now.
He's like, well, let's not do this. But yeah, this is his level up tree here, and he even changed the regen of my character completely at the end.
Oh yeah, of course, because I see it's down from 20 to 5.
Yeah. But yeah, at level 20, I get regen 25, and my claw becomes magical for some fuck reason. Yeah, it was such a weird thing he did. I absolutely appreciated him. But yeah, the regen I started getting was insane. The player that really hated my character, he pointed out that I had better regen than the Trask by the end. And I'm like, hey, DM made it. He confirmed it.
Wait. Just, I want to make sure I have this correct. Are you telling me that all that regen that you got had stacked? As
yes.
in oh my god, so you get 5 regen and then you get another 10?
Yeah, it stacks.
Oh my god.
So I wrote that. So plus 20 regen is wrong. I technically should have plus 25 by that level.
Oh my god.
Or no, plus 30, because that's I should be at 30. I think that's changed on my actual character sheet. So yeah, I'm not going down.
They just made you unkillable for your first character. They're just oh yeah, whatever.
It was fun. It was really fun. Okay, now I want to send you the actual character sheet, and that should be a lot cleaner, but still just as messed up. Oh, look at this clean character sheet.
That's one thing that I'm going to say to you right now. I do not miss the 3.5 character sheet. I hate it. I hate it bad.
Yeah.
It's so much better on the 5th edition, where it's just all neatly laid out and whatnot.
Oh, I absolutely agreed. Absolutely agreed. This all confused the fuck out of me. It really felt like schoolwork, and I was just like, what the fuck. Yeah, here's a little bit cleaner. On the very top, I put Trask regen, because when that person pointed out that what my regen was bullshit, had mentioned a Trask. I didn't know what the fuck a Trask was, so I wrote a note on the top of my character sheet what the fuck a Trask was. Yeah, Kerbis Ceruleus Hawkwing was the full name. Yeah, G-Type, I fixed the class name to better represent the Resident Evil connection instead of just crazy motherfucker. My claw doing ridiculous amounts of damage and having also insane range. 10 foot is my claw, apparently. Or 5 to 10.
What the fuck? You got like a fucking pole arm that's a claw.
Yeah. I could extend that bitch.
Yeah, I mean, man, don't get him excited. It's just fucking claws come out everywhere. I also like, can I just say, I really like how your height is 6.
Yeah. It's just 6. Just 6.
Just 6.
See. And like there's a lot of errors on this. Like absolutely. And you know that's to be expected. Like on the second part, my carrying capacity is heavy load 400 pounds and shit. It's so weird. And that thing you can't see in possession, that's the actually the part 5 image I sent you, which is a something called a plate cast Eagle Splendor plus 12 to charisma. I can use that 7 times per day apparently, or UMD plus 20, whatever the fuck that means. And the DM just handed me
what
that.
the hell that means?
I have no idea.
UMD, like you can use WebMD? No, I don't know. Fucking
like a lot of this I don't even fucking remember, which is wild. And as y'all are viewing, you can see that a lot of this is not properly filled out, as one who doesn't know what the fuck they're doing does. And I included a part 3 in there just to show you that I had no idea what the fuck I was doing, and I just left that bitch blank. Part 4 is when the skills and the feats are there, which are slightly more thought out. Because rapid mutation was my thing. Natural regeneration. Also, natural immunity. I was immune to all poisons.
oh wow,
Yeah.
hey,
So pretty much Wolverine, yeah. Cleave, combat reflexes, great cleave, improved critical, power attack, run, and endurance were my feats.
now I gotta ask: were you immune to all diseases, including like, or I'm sorry, you said you were immune to all poisons, not diseases? Yeah.
I assume it means diseases too. I'm not sure. It just says natural immunity. And I'm assuming here. I cannot remember.
Well, I mean, at least you're not also a spellcaster. You'd put the spellcaster to shame with like your magic claws that like do fucking fireball at will or some bullshit.
Some fucking crazy shit.
Oh, I cast Vengeful Gaze of God with my fucking claws. What the fuck? How did you get like beyond 20th level magic? Whatever.
That's natural. But yeah, I'm trying to think of like other stories for this character. Like the guard thing was pretty fun, just because like I still think there's something fucked up with those dice, but whatever. Can't prove it, but it's still a fun little moment. The main story, from what I remember, the world got remade. Like every thousand years or something like that, a tower or a spire appears in a certain part of the world, and whoever reaches it can gain a wish to do whatever the fuck you want to do. And I can't remember why the gods were cool with it or some shit like that. Apparently, like the main god of this world was tired and didn't give a fuck and wanted somebody just to end his like existence and like to take over his spot. But everyone would always wish for gold or something like that.
Ladies' underwear.
Yeah, stuff like that too. You know, as you do when you have the Dragon Balls.
Of course, yeah.
So we were like one of the adventurer groups trying to get to that tower and doing like, you know, side jobs on the way and stuff like that. I think that's a cool little concept personally. But one of the other people in the group wanted to become a lich, and they had the idea of putting their like, what was it?
Flag.
Yeah, inside my character or inside of a dead god, which was like a spider thing or whatever the fuck in a different plane. Like they were min-maxed as motherfuckers. Like they were trying their best to bullshit the game to make them unkillable. Like, everyone was trying to do that. I was the only one that wasn't trying to do that intentionally. I was just given a bullshit character.
You know, when you're in high school and, you know, you're playing D&D and it's just bullshit with your friends or whatnot. Those kinds of games are not only, they could be a lot of fun, but, you know, if nothing else, it helps to, like, bring you into, you know, role playing and everything else. So, like, when your DM does eventually kind of, like, get a little bit more experience under his belt and he's all like, okay, well, I want to do something a little bit more, you know, substantive or, you know, whatnot. You know, they can kind of like look back at those past experiences and be like, okay, well, you guys had fun with this. Let's try something a little bit different this time. And, you know, it's just a good gateway.
I will say that's one thing I did like about my DM at the time, is he always did something new for every game. So that was pretty good.
To give you a little bit of context as to like how poorly, like, well, maybe not like poorly in terms of like how poorly made, because again, I'm not sure like how you guys did this, because I'm like looking at some of these things and I'm like, well, that doesn't make sense at all. Like, for example, just your, what's that, 4th page, your skill ranks and whatnot.
Yeah.
Going off my memory, if I'm not mistaken, I believe at like 1st level you could put 4 skill points into like your ranks, and anything that you have a check mark in, you'd basically have 4 plus the ability modifier, and then if you had like anything miscellaneous, you could, you know, put that in there. But you should have like at max, you know, 4 skill rank for anything at 1st level that you have like your class in. So like, for example, you've got like diplomacy as a class skill, so you should have been able to put like +4 to that. But you guys are like level 12, and it goes up by like, I believe, 1 every level. So I mean, your max for your diplomacy should have been higher than 11, but I mean, you only put 11 into it, which is fine if you're like, you know, of course, got a bunch of skill points that you're trying to evenly distribute through a bunch of different skills or whatnot. But it doesn't look like any of them really took advantage of like the max, which tells me either A, you're not really a min-maxer, which I kind of already know about you, but also, you know, it tells me that, you know, you guys really didn't have much idea as to like how the system worked. You guys were just fucking around and having fun, which is the best way to start D&D in my opinion.
I feel like because after the initial, like, they gave me like what I needed, this was pretty much all me. I feel like I just didn't have a basic understanding of 3.5.
I mean, who does? I just say, like, 3.5 got involved, and it got involved really quick because you had all these books, and like some of them you didn't know which ones were like actually in canon and which ones weren't, because for some of them they came out for 3.0, and then when 3.5 came out, it's like, oh well, shit, which one of these do I work with? Do I work with the ninja from this book, or do I work with the ninja from this book? Because they're both different, and it's like, well, which one's the real one? And it's like, fuck, I don't know, just use them both, whatever.
But I enjoyed this character immensely. I don't know if I'll ever like recreate this character in some way. I don't even know how the fuck you do that. But I do want to use the name again, possibly.
I can see this character coming back. I mean, I don't know if you'll have quite as good as regeneration as you had on the first character, but I could see something where you could come back with this.
I can't get a +50 regen? Fuck. Goddamn.
Well, you know, it's 5th edition. Everything is number simple. So we'll give you, some regen, but I don't know if it's going to be 50.
I like that. Another story.
You can keep your height at 6, though. That you can do.
Just 6. Just 6. 6 centimeters, 6 foot. He bounces around.
Yeah, whatever. Day to day,
It depends. He mutates. It's fine. But yeah, one of my other stories for this character that just popped in my head, I think it's probably my favorite one. Like, all these like things are like slowly coming back to me, and oh fuck, what was it? Like, we were going up on this castle that got like bombed, but it looked like Mr. Freeze bombed it. Like from the castle, like it was just nothing but ice and crystal extending outward into the village.
What killed the dinosaurs? The
Ice Age. Pretty much. Like everyone was frozen, like in place, stuff like that, and like there's like these like frost zombies or crystal zombies that were attacking.
Shit, the White Walkers.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Everyone in the group but me decided to get on the ice or crystal and attack these things. So I was like, I'm not going to rush in. Everyone rushes in, that's fine. So I guess I was out of the initiative order. I can't remember. But the DM let me go, and I was like, okay, I want to test out this fucking crystal ice thing. So, I dig where, like, the ice and the dirt met, because it stopped after a certain point, and saw it only went a few inches deep. So I was like, okay, that's fucking weird. I took a rock, scratched the crystal, and dropped it on my side of the ground. Nothing happened to it. I take the rock, and I put it back on the crystal. After 10 minutes, not 10 minutes, after like 10 seconds, it froze or turned into crystal. The DM was so proud and happy I fucking did that, because he's like, yeah, that's what it does. And everyone turns to me super fucking scared. And the DM's like, so do you want to tell your group about this? And I was like, yeah, sure, I'll tell them.
Moment of terror.
Yeah, of like, oh no, we fucked up. So the entire fight, like, we all had to say, and we're hopping the entire time while we're attacking. So we're like hopping on one foot, then the other, like, to attack, and like we're getting disadvantaged for doing that. It was a really fucking weird time.
Oh my god, I love it.
Because we're fighting on one foot. It's like weird shit. It was so good. Yeah, that's pretty much it for this first character.
I love it. It's absolutely amazing. I love the creative use, like, because I'm hearing the stories from your DM, and I really do dig creative DMs. Like when DMs, follow the book and whatnot. Yeah, of course, you're going to get more of a sense of like continuity. But I love it when DMs go off script and they do something, kind of weird and cool that like nobody's expecting. Where it's like you guys have to like start hopping around and whatnot. That's amazing. That's really the hallmark of what I consider to be a great DM, where they can take like a nothing encounter and then they can really make it memorable by just adding silly or like weird elements to it.
Oh yeah, I feel like, and this is going to go into the next character. I feel like a lot of the stuff we did, he kind of just bullshitted on the spot somewhat. Of like, no, that's a really good idea. So here, let me go ahead and send the next.
While you're sending me the next group of characters and whatnot, I want to tell you about the first character I had. It was a paladin. I was a half elf. I was just kind of like learning, 3.5 for the first time. I kind of like played around with like, some second edition, some AD&D and whatnot. But this was my first time with a group, and our entire group died to just a random pit trap that we knew was there after like actually completing, because we had saved the unicorn from a bunch of kobolds. We were coming back out, and we knew the pit trap was there. We had fallen in it before, but we were so beat up from this fucking like cave that like we all like tried to like do our climb checks to make it down the pit safely, and so we could go start climbing up the other side. We all fucking failed, and we just died there to an empty fucking pit. It was terrible but memorable.
I like those. No one died in our D&D sessions that I know of. The second group, or second character I sent you, my mistake. This isn't my second character I ever made. This is like my third.
Oh, okay.
This was a concept for another game I was supposed to be a part of, but it never happened. This was towards the end of the time where like I stopped playing D&D for a little bit with this group, just because like I started to like I think either get a job or something like that, so things didn't line up. But yeah, this just real fast. The character I sent you was just a concept thing. I never finished it, but yeah, he was a character named Mott who was a barkeep, and I found a custom character on like a wiki, and I was trying to like really find some dude who was just a part of like the standard like, oh yeah, you're in a bar, what do you do? And I just wanted to be like, no, I wanted to be the bartender who was like, no, I'll fucking fight with you, dog. So yeah, I'm like, you're going off to fight a dragon? Sure. And I was originally going to make him like an orc, but 3.5 orcs couldn't be like played in the book. I'm sure you could have bullshitted it, but he was a half orc. He was a half orc barkeep. That's pretty much it. And,
actually, if I remember correctly, they made an entire book in 3.5 for playing the monstrous races, where essentially you could play a mind flayer if you wanted to, or you could play like you could do all this stuff, but that was your class, and then you would have to like get up a certain level before you could actually start taking like actual classes. Like if you were a succubus, you had to like do the succubus class and kind of evolve as a succubus for like 7 levels before you could even start taking like sorcerer or whatnot.
That's pretty cool. I actually kind of like that. For a little bit, I remember the barkeeper class that was custom made. I really can't remember the website I found it on, but like the DM approved it, so I was like, "Fuck yes." Pretty much all of his attacks were pretty much. Oh shit! What was it? It's all. I forgot what it's called exactly, but it's pretty much improvised weapons. Like I grab a fucking chair and I beat you over, and I get a bonus because it's an improvised weapon. I could not have a weapon on me, or I would get like a negative to it because I didn't know how to use it. My whole thing was like I knew how to bar brawl and shit like that. So like I take a table, I smash a motherfucker. I take glass, I smash somebody, and I had this satchel with me because apparently it was a skill to where I could always turn any area I'm in into a mini bar room. And I could also teleport to bars I've been to before, which I thought that was a really fun little ability.
That is kind of fun.
Here, let me actually...
That actually reminds me of something I did for one of my homebrew campaigns when I first started to like DM. Because I wasn't really like experienced at that point, because obviously, I mean, I was still kind of like new to the whole thing, and I wanted to like make my own world because it just seemed like really a lot of fun. Like I didn't want to like just do the standard thing where it's all like, oh, I just run something out of a book. It didn't appeal to me in that sense. But what did really make me kind of happy was like, you know, taking elements from different like pop culture and like, you know, making it my own. So one of the things that like my party would do is they would go to like all these towns and whatnot, and every town had like basically a Cheers, you know what I'm saying, where it's like a bar they could go to, and they would like meet Nurse Joy, and there's like 1,000 Nurse Joys, so like every bar would have a Nurse Joy.
Yeah, that's pretty good. The thing I sent you, I'm pretty sure that is what I based it off of.
Yeah, this looks about right.
Yeah. Because, like, looking at it, like, you know, we all need a drink. Once per day, the barkeeper can use greater teleportation as per spell. As a spell-like ability, the target of the teleport must be a bar in or similar establishment. So that does seem like that is it. Yeah, it's just, like, really weird stuff. And I can brew, like, potions and stuff like that and call it, like, beer. And it gives me, like, certain boosts and stuff like that. Like,
You have a little ability here where you can do like knowledge local checks, basically, you know, just pulling shit out of your ass. Like, oh, I heard this.
Pretty much, yeah. And I really like. I kind of want to like bring this back to like a 5th edition character or something like that, because I really like the idea of like a bartender just being like, you know what, fuck it, I'll fight with you.
You know what? Let me just real quick here, because are you familiar with the Dungeon Masters Guild?
No.
It's like an offshoot of Drive-Thru RPG. It like basically runs off of the same sort of thing, but it's specifically for D&D material. And I bet you anything, someone has already made like a barkeep. Yeah, okay. So there's a thing here called Bouncers and Barkeep. It's a collection of tavern-themed adventure subclasses. So I bet you anything, someone has already kind of like brought over like the bartender, and let's see here, because you got like, yeah, artificer, you have the brewer, let's see here, oh yeah, the warlock, you have a patron where it's like the bartender, that's your patron for the warlock.
That's pretty cool.
That one, yeah, that's courtesy of Lore Weaver Maps. Yeah. So only $2 on the Dungeon Masters Guild, so that's not bad.
I have to remember that. We'll talk about that later for another character. I'm tempted to bring that back. Wow, thank you for that.
Yeah, you know, I bet a lot of these have probably been adapted to 5th edition in some way or another. One of the most interesting ones I've seen adapted is the noble class, where it's essentially like you can be a prince or a princess, but you're like a storybook prince or princess. Mm-hmm. So you have like the ability to talk to animals and shit like that. It's a lot of fun.
I like that. No character source for this dude. Just bartender.
I mean, you start at level 11, so you're a beefy bartender. I'll tell you that
You ain't
much.
wrong. Okay. And this is actually my second character that I'm sending you. I'm sending you all the parts so you can look at it. He was a monk, Tensen Yamato. Just because I could not spell Yamato, and I put a U instead of O because I'm that kind of an idiot.
Yeah, whatever works for you, bud.
This was after the first game ended. It didn't finish at all. Like because that was one of the bad things about my DM at the time. He never finished a campaign. If it went too long, he got bored.
He did that, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a DM sin that a lot of us have, where we'll be playing a campaign and whatnot, everyone's having a good time, and then all of a sudden like a new book comes out and it's all like, hey guys, I know you're having a lot of fun with like Waterdeep and everything, but Icewind Dale just came out. What do you guys think? And they're like, fucking hell, man, we just got to the. All right, fine, yeah, sure.
So yeah, sadly that's pretty much what happened. But they never ran the books though. They just read the books just for ideas. Oddly enough.
Because that's what you did back in the day.
Yeah.
You just used it for like maps or whatnot.
So we got improved grapple, combat reflexes, improved disarm, alertness, dodge, mobility, spring attack.
I like how, as you're kind of like going about, with your evolution as a player sort of thing, you're starting to fill more stuff in. So like this one actually has like your ECL and whatnot.
It actually has 5'7" instead of just 5'7".
You're 57.
I'm 57. Let's see here. Key strike, slow fall, improve evasion, wholeness of body, purity of body, still mind, evasion, unarmed strike for your blows, improve grapple. Okay, that's all what I read in the other one. I knew.
Yeah, the classic monk build.
Well, see, what I wanted to do with this guy, and I kind of regret it a little bit. I wanted him strictly as a pacifist guy who disarmed and then knocked out the opponent. He did not kill. For a group that min-maxed and the entire rule of law was you kill a motherfucker, that did not work out too well. But I still enjoyed my time with this character.
I'm a little surprised that your DM didn't offer you that one feat that basically turns any attack that you want to do into non-lethal damage, where it's basically like if you take this feat, you don't have to do like I think it's like -4 to your attack if you're trying not to kill someone.
I did not know about that.
Again, 3.5 had like 27,000 fucking books, so I mean, you could be forgiven for not knowing that there's a feat out there that allows you to basically do crazy shit like, either triple damage, but like all of it's non-lethal or some bullshit.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, 3.5. Whew. I tell you what. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love options. Like, you can basically shove a book in front of, a player and be all like, hey man, you can do anything you want. And there's all these different options. Really helps them like get into their character, or at least the building process for their character. Some people complain that they don't have that in like, 5th edition, and that kind of like takes it away, but I disagree.
I feel like when you give people too many options, they freeze up and go like, I don't know what to do.
I mean, that is human nature. When you're provided with like, all these different options, it's only natural to kind of like just either pick at random or, just take the first one you're offered sort of thing. Yeah. It's just, but I like the way, 5th edition does things, where you still have plenty of different options, especially with like digital media nowadays. But at the same time, you still have that sense of continuity, like you've got only this many classes, or you have only this, many like backgrounds to choose from or something.
Oh yeah, I agree with that. Like I have been enjoying my time with 5th edition very much.
I'm glad. I'm glad that you're having a good time with the game and whatnot.
Oh yeah.
But your character sheet for this thing, how you exactly? Because I can kind of see where you're still new and whatnot, but like I noticed that when you got your skills here, you just have like the modifiers. You don't have like how many ranks you put into it, or like your abilities or your miscellaneous or what. No, it's just 13.
The skills always get me.
It's just 13. Don't worry about where I got it from. You know, I could just be like pulling numbers out of my ass. It's 13 though.
I think what it was is like I asked someone at the table like what the fuck it should be, and they told me a number, and I just wrote it down. So like, okay, 13.
Would explain why everything is just 13.
Yeah, because I was that guy at the table. Because I'm pretty sure there's like a trope for who I was back in the day. Because once again, like by the time of this like new campaign, I still didn't have my own dice because I had no money. So I was just borrowing motherfuckers' dice on the table. So I was that guy.
You know what? Nothing wrong with that. We are all that guy starting out.
Yeah, story for this character, like this, I actually finished the campaign with this character. One of the greatest things about this DM, even though he had that bad habit of like, okay, let's go on to something else. He liked doing shorter sessions or shorter campaigns, and I love that. Like this character was used for one campaign, and we were done. And it was like a really great fucking campaign because I forgot what it was. We were tasked with saving somebody from a castle, standard stuff. It was pretty much a Bruce Lee movie. I can't remember what it was. Like we entered a tournament and we were housed at this castle, but we were all there to save somebody in that castle. And like shenanigans happened. I can't remember like full story about everything. But the ones that stick out in my mind is the DM wanted something to happen and was going down by name. On everyone's character sheet, they just had first names. I was that guy that had a first and last name, always. So he's going down the list of who's in a room and going like, okay, who has a last name starting with A? And no one would say anything. He's like, okay, who has a last name starting with B? No one said shit. It's like, okay, who has, or like, I want to know every motherfucker's last name. Everyone quickly started writing something down for their last name. And I was just like, mine's Yamato. It starts with a Y. And he let out the biggest sigh and just went, you know what? Fuck it. You all exit the room and you see the guards are looking for you. He looks so defeated. Like he had
just like, oh, why do I play with these fuckers?
And, oh shit! What happened when I said my last name's Yamato? People came up with Z last names. He's so dumb with our bullshit.
Oh, that's so good.
He's like, guys, what the fuck? So that's pretty great. And we, fought some of the guards and stuff like that. And I can't remember who the big bad was, but I remember he was kind of like a Cthulhu type monster, like dude, where he was like half human, half like tentacle monster. And where this is the big bad and everyone's wanting to kill the motherfucker. I'm a pacifist. I'm trying to just disarm him. All he has is tentacles. And I would really have loved to learn about that, the skill you're talking about, but I didn't have that. So I was just like, I'm just saving people, and I'm getting manhandled by tentacles. I will say that in a fit of rage, my character did drop kick the big bad at the end, and my final attack killed the dude. So for one little bit where I got frustrated with being manhandled and just like being like, oh, what are you doing this game or your turn? Same shit I did last turn. I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna get a hit on him, and I kill him. I was like, no, my pacifist ways killed somebody.
Oddly enough, that reminds me of a pacifist I made where I really wanted to like make I think it was one of those psionic healers or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't remember exactly what it was, but so I wanted to make a guy who was completely non-lethal. And one of the things he had on him was he had a blowgun. It was like one of those things you like load darts into and whatnot.
Okay.
And I had tipped all of my darts with sleeping poison.
Okay.
So I would just be like, basically knocking people out or whatnot. This guy who could do no damage, like he had no way to like do lasting harm, killed 3 motherfucking dinosaurs.
Just go to sleep. Just go to sleep. That's all you gotta do.
Well,
go to sleep.
they were those kind of like dinosaurs that like they're basically like Loch Ness monsters, and we were on a boat, and so because they had to like breathe and whatnot.
Mhm.
So dinosaur like it roars and it like tries to come at me. I shoot it with a blowgun.
Oh
DM fails
shit!
the Constitution saving throw. It goes under the water. It drowns. Second one comes at me. I do like this really like I crit, so like
Yeah.
basically my blowgun had like gone so hard that like I shot it through the thing's eye and into its like brain, and it's like, oh crap, I killed the thing. And then of course third one came at me. Failed another Constitution save. Oh, guess what? That one drowns too.
That's really fucked. I like that.
Big encounter. Like he was so proud of it because he was like, "Oh yeah, I got him on the boat. They're fucked now because they got nowhere to go." It's like, oh yeah, just my guy with blowgun.
Huh.
Like, oh son of a bitch.
Everyone goes to sleep gently.
I didn't even bother waking anyone else up. I was just like, because I'm on guard duty, and it's like, oh, there's dinosaurs. No, blowgun. It's like, oh.
It's like, how's the night? It's all right. Nothing happened.
Yeah, uneventful.
There's a couple dinosaurs, but it was nothing bad. It's all right. Okay, you get soul XP there. Just like you jump up 2 levels. And like, God, why are you so like powerful? Like, I don't know. I just killed like 3 giant dinosaurs.
Yeah, you just killed 3 Loch Ness monsters. It was fine. Don't worry about
I
it.
soloed them. That's pretty good. Oh shit, that reminds me. After the big bad was done, we went to go save the person. We find out that the person that we had to save was ourselves. Now, this is where I come back to, like, I feel like my DM bullshitted a lot because me and one of my other friends at the time, we made the joke that what if like we were trying to save ourselves and like we were trapped in crystal or some bullshit, because like we're all huge fans of like Final Fantasy and whatnot.
Yeah, as you do.
So as we killed the big bad, we did like this weird like puzzle where we all had like jump. It was pretty much a platform section to get to the bottom of the castle, which I kind of liked. I say that because I failed my first jump and I fell right to the bottom. I had 1 HP left. So, I took the shortcut. Everyone else managed to fucking, traverse and jump to the bottom. But yeah, we get to the very bottom of the castle and we find out, like, there are ourselves trapped in crystal and we're being summoned by them to become whole again.
That's really cool.
So yeah, I really like that idea. And what I really liked also is that everyone at the table was like, yeah, fuck yeah, we're gonna touch the crystal of ourselves and like fuse together. I was the only one that's like, where I dead ass looked at the DM and went, should I do this? Do I feel anything wrong about any of this? After everyone had already made that decision, and I could tell in his eyes that he's like, okay, let's play this out. It's like, you get a kind of a bad feeling from this, but it seems alright. And everyone's like, oh fuck, what did we do? And eventually I relented and I was like, yeah, I'll fuse with this crystal version of myself. And apparently that was supposed to spawn into another story, but that never happened. But yeah. I really like that just because he came up with that entire last section on the fucking fly.
That is really good. And you can always tell that's like the DM's dream, because the DM always wants to like put the characters in that kind of like moment where like he gets to see everyone's oh no face, where like you'll go be walking through a dungeon or something like that, yeah. And you'll come to like a door, and your DM will be like, okay, what do you do? And he's like, okay, well I open the door. And they're like, yeah, but how do you open the door?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh shit.
I also can't remember like what had happened when we fused. It was something like we were supposed to also come up with like who this other version of you was, like, because they were apparently a different class from what we were. So like,
interesting.
So fusing together, we would have multi-classed, and that would have started a new campaign where we were like, for me, it would have been a monk or whatever the fuck else.
I bet this guy was a big fan of Kingdom Hearts.
Yes. He like the whole Final Fantasy Kingdom Hearts thing. I think he also like really heavily enjoyed the Wheel of Time at the time.
Oh, Wheel of Time! Oh my god!
Absolutely loved the Wheel of Time. Like that was the thing. It wasn't Lord of the Rings or whatever. It was Wheel of Time. I still have not read yet. I have the first book. I need to actually read it eventually.
I'm a little surprised. Well, I mean, I'm not terribly surprised, but I was about to say, like, I'm kind of surprised that he never tried to get you guys in on like the Wheel of Time RPG.
I think he tried to get his hands on it, but it never happened.
Yeah, because that thing, if I'm not mistaken, was like fucking super rare and like hard to get.
Yeah. Let's see here. That's pretty much it for that character. This is my third proper character I made. So here you go. I think I pronounced this character Coop or Coupe. Where the fuck?
Coupe.
This, once again, the game never happened, or never finished, because after the character Mott I was trying to make, everyone kind of broke apart for a little bit because the DM went to college, and he couldn't do it anymore, and he pretty much moved out of the city, and whatnot, so that happened. No one really wanted to take over the role, so everyone kind of fell apart somewhat. This, oddly enough, came from the a guy who hated my crazy monster dude. He started running a little campaign, and it was me, someone else, I can't remember who it was, and I think our lovely Faye the Pagan was a part of this too. As you can see, I'm a psionic person. The basics...
Your class here is a scion, and yet I already noticed that you have like the knife blade and also like a knee blade and an elbow blade. Like, so like I think you made a soul knife and not a scion, but like he just was like, oh yeah, you're psionic, so you just put scion.
Well, see, that's the kind of the funny thing about this character is originally he was based off, because I have no original ideas of my own, based off of the merchant from Resident Evil 4.
Okay.
I like the idea, once again, going with the barkeeper of, a merchant who's just like starting up, who wanted to go around and build up his reputation and also see like the different parts of the world and really collect stuff to put in his shop eventually. I made the Scion thing just because I really like the idea of like having mental powers. The reason for all of the blades, and I don't know why I fucking just loved blades at the time. Like, I thought the idea of, like, my character having hidden blades everywhere was so fucking cool.
Hey, I mean, I'm not going to fault you for it. I mean, having blades, spring out of, like, every conceivable nook and cranny is a really cool idea. It's not exactly practical, but then again, I mean, it's D&D.
Like, 100%, I agree with that. Yeah, like...
I'm actually a little surprised you didn't make this guy, like, a monk so that you could, like, fury blows with, like, bladed, like, chakrams just coming out of everywhere.
I think it's because I played a monk before, and also because, like, I read Scion, and I went, this sounds so fucking badass. I want to make a character like this.
Now, were these actually, like, blades, or were these psionic blades?
They were just normal blades that, like switchblade out of my coat.
Because there is totally a class that does the whole, like, psionic blade, where they're, like, basically glowing shards of energy coming out of your fist and whatnot.
That's really fucking cool. I kind of wish I went with that. Oh, as you can see, I had 13,000 gold for some reason.
How the fuck do you have an AC of 2?
I don't know.
Like, you can see there that it's like 10 plus armor bonus plus shield bonus. So you like start with like a minimum of like 10 unless you're like really unlucky and you've got like a negative dexterity. No, your AC is 2.
I'm really unlucky as a merchant. And what was bad is like the DM, this new DM tried to help us, and I'm not sure if like he just really wanted the game to happen, so we kind of just like fudged some stuff. But yeah,
fucking like butterfly can just smack you for like 2 points down,
and I just die. I think also the concept I had was like lifting somebody up and like bring them to me as like a porcupine, I guess. But I don't think that's the case, because I'm really trying, like, what's interesting about all of this is I'm trying to really dissect old or younger me and figure out what the fuck my deal was. I kind of want to say that I played Assassin's Creed finally, and I was like, yeah, man, I got hidden blades fucking goddamn everywhere.
I could see that.
Instead,
I could also see like maybe you were playing like a shitload of like Sonic the Hedgehog, and you just wanted to like spin really fast and like have blades shoot out everywhere. Just like
that'd be kind of cool.
gotta go fast.
Gotta go fast. But no, I guess I just really liked Assassin's Creed at the time. No, I don't have hidden wrists on my wrist or hidden blades on my wrist. I have hidden blades everywhere. Yeah, this game lasted one session, and then the guy never called any of us back. Pretty much all I remember is like we were at this oh shit, I can't remember. It wasn't like a fishing village, but it was like a at a dock, but it was like kind of run down, and we had to go into a cave where the tide was like was out, and then we were drawing up a map of like the cave inside, and that's all it went to. Like we didn't even fight anybody, so I don't even know if this was even viable. Yeah, it was pretty much just role playing of like, yeah, I'm doing this. I'm a merchant. Hey, how you doing?
Don't fuck with me. I got blades everywhere.
I got blades everywhere. I'm also psionic for some reason.
I'm a psychic bartender. You don't even have to ask me for your fucking drink. I know what you want.
I know what you want. Well, see, this is good. See, in my head, I guess, like, my headcanon was the merchant and the bartender kind of knew each other eventually. But, because I like my characters kind of, like, knowing each other and whatnot.
Yeah, like a shared universe almost. I do that with my characters all the time.
Yeah, that's this character. That's pretty much it. No grand story to this guy. Last page, yeah. Control object, disable, energy ray, call to mind, no direction and subject's location, control air, and energy missile.
I'm sure someone's going to correct me if I get this wrong, but, like, I'm pretty sure that psionics had, like, power points, which instead of, like, spells per day were kind of like mana sort of thing. So I think that was the big draw for a lot of people behind the psionic spellcasters, because you could try to like regain power points instead of having to like regain spells per day, and that was, if I'm not mistaken, you all you had to do was like meditate or something. I don't remember exactly what it was, but like it was a lot easier to get more spells per day than you would as like a normal spellcaster if you did like something psionic.
I guess that's why psionics just doesn't exist anymore.
I mean, they're coming back from what I hear.
Oh, are they? Fuck yeah. Oh, I may be bringing this character back.
I mean, again, I'm pretty sure that if you look on the DM's Guild, you'll probably see that someone has already done like a third-party adaptation of the psionic class. But you can kind of already see it from the material that they put out with Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, because they got a lot of psionic stuff carried over into that book. You got like the the aberrant sorcerer, and like the you got like the what was it, the psychic warrior, the psychic guardian. It was not guardian.
Psychic gardener.
Yeah, psychic gardener. That's right.
I need to look that stuff up. Like I really hope it comes back, because I do kind of want to. I don't know. I don't know. Like main reason why I'm doing all this is because I'm getting rid of like my old stack of like D&D stuff. I already got rid of my 3.5 book just because I wasn't using it, and it was just taking up space. And I'm trying to make room for new stuff and whatnot.
Future,
the future. And I found like all these papers, and I'm wanting to get rid of them. So yeah, just wanting them to, I guess, make them slightly permanent on my YouTube channel. Doing all this.
I'm a little surprised you're actually getting rid of the paper, because I mean the paper doesn't really take up that much space. I mean, you could just run down to like a general store and grab like one of their shitty back to school folders and keep it in like a closet somewhere.
Oh, that's a good point. I could probably put this in a closet somewhere, but I don't know. It feels I don't know. It feels
everything
like
though, so I'm sure that whatever you do with it.
Yeah, I don't know. It feels like more of just like a closing that part of my life by getting like rid of some of the stuff. I may keep my very first character sheet somewhere, but I'm not sure actually. Now that you mentioned that, I may actually keep this. Damn.
Didn't mean to ruin your whole thing.
Well,
good night, there, folks. I guess we're done here.
No, it's still fun we did this. I still like it.
Yeah, I like it too. And you know what? If nothing else, I do think that even if you close the book on that particular like chapter of your life, I do think that like at least keeping your first character sheet, would be really cool. If nothing else, to like see how much you've grown since then, sort of thing.
I agree with that. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I like that. Around that.
I gotta say though, I love your characters at current, like all the characters that you're doing nowadays.
Yeah,
fuck.
There's a definite improvement on my characters. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So I don't know if this helped anyone out, but I thought this was like a fun little concept to do of like showing, old character sheets and talking with somebody who actually knows about D&D. But yeah, thank you again, Brian, for doing this with me. I'm really happy.
I'm really happy too. There is one question I gotta ask though.
Yes,
because I've got this theory about like how people make characters and whatnot. And I think it's a really interesting thing to kind of like ask people, even if they don't have an answer for it. Because I feel like when you're a player, you put so much into your characters. Like it's a very personal part of yourself that you're like putting into most characters, especially with like how things like are nowadays with much more like heavy role play. I mean, D&D 5 goes back to like a lot of heavy role play that people wanted from like 3.5 and 4th edition and whatnot. Mm-hmm. You got Vampire the Masquerade, of course, that's huge when it comes to role play. But then you got like all these other different like systems. You got like Cult Divinity Lost, or you got Symbaroum, or you got like just all these different like systems, and they're all kind of like, it's a great time to be a role player right now is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But I really feel like when people will go ahead and as player characters, like they kind of put a little piece of themselves into every character that they make, even when they're first starting out. So I'd love to know, for your first character, obviously you really like the Resident Evil thing, that was a big part of it, but like if you had to like put I guess a turn of phrase on it, like where do you think this character really came from? Like, because obviously, again, you're a big fan of Resident Evil and whatnot, but like, I don't know. I'm always curious to the story behind those characters. Not like Resident Evil, but like just in general. Like, what's your thing?
Like why I made him the way he is.
Yeah.
I think I like for Resident Evil, like, and for this, I mainly looked at like, okay, I really like Resident Evil. Why? Well, I like the monsters. So like, okay, like I kind of want to play as one, but not go fully into like, hey, I'm a bad guy territory. But I still want to have like the mutation and the claws and stuff like that, and that's probably why I like playing or want to play as a Zamitzi in Vampire the Masquerade, because I can kind of do that and shit like that,
It does make a lot of sense knowing who you are and what kind of characters you like. It does make a lot of sense that you would love those elements, and that you would try to adapt those into like a 3.5 character. That's actually that's a really true emotion right there. That's
well, if you because a lot of my stuff comes from video games. Usually, my monk character, where I'm trying to disarm everything, the main concept of that came from Metal Gear Solid 3. Where, you have a Naked Snake, he's disarming people, he's, like, taking apart the guns and stuff like that, and, like holding people down and stuff like that. And I just wanted, like, my character just be all that, because I thought that was, like, cool as shit.
I get that. What about your current character? What about your Curse Strahd cleric?
They actually come from Borderlands 2. Because there's a DLC called Bunkers and Badass. I play as a Siren, usually, in Borderlands games. And for the Siren character in that game, they can get a class mod, mainly because that's a D&D ripoff. Like, a lot of their class mods is based off of classes from D&D. A Cleric class mod. So I'm like, okay, so Cleric, their outfit change that they get for, like, playing the game is a Wood Elf. So, a Wood Elf Cleric.
I gotcha.
And I went with the control path because the Siren Maya, when she phase locks people, that locks them down. So it kind of all fits in a way.
Okay, now I got to ask this one.
All right,
where does Bart come from?
Bart actually comes from Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 1. Because when I took that quiz a lot, I either got Gangrel or Tremere. For some reason, that's what, like, because I think there's like 10 questions that pops up of possible 20, and it changes every now and then. But most of my answers were Gangrel, and then I get Tremere. Because I'm that weird person who takes the quiz over and over again and does like every possible choice that I would like. So that's why Bart is Gangrel, who dips into Tremere stuff. Now, as for like what else he does, I, as a child, was a very big fan of WWF, or WWE now. There's a character called Gangrel, who was a wrestler, whose name was completely inspired by Vampire the Masquerade. And he owns up to it. He's like, yeah, there's this Vampire the Masquerade game. I liked it. I went with it. So he has parts of that wrestler there. I'm also a very huge fan of like noir. So I have a slight element of that added in. That's where he's a detective and he, uses his animal instincts to like kind of find people sometimes. And I want to say that's pretty much it for Bart.
That's neat. I like that.
Yeah. Like, I'm never simple with my character creation. There's always something that I draw from.
I get that. I get that a lot, actually.
Because, there's no original ideas, but it's just how you change them and rearrange them that you start getting somewhat unique stuff.
I mean, in the vast human history that we have, yeah, you're absolutely right. There's really no originality, but I do think that, with at least tabletop gaming and whatnot, you can feel, like your own. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
it's a weird sort of thing.
Yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. We've gone on for almost over an hour. Oh, God. Yeah, thank you again, Bryan, for all this.
Thank you for having me. It's been my pleasure. I'd love to come back and do something else with you. Maybe next time I can share some character sheets of mine. Or
that'd be cool.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah, we'll figure something out. Is there any, like, do you want to, like, promote, like, something or anything?
At risk of, like, dating this particular recording, I'll probably keep that,
Yeah.
I keep that one under my hat. But I will say that it's a lot of fun. I had a great time, and I can't wait to see what happens with your gaming going forward, because we're doing Cursed Strahd this Friday, and I'm excited to see where you take that one, because you guys are in a bit of a predicament as it is.
Yeah, we are. We are. But yeah, until next time, everyone, goodbye. Take care. Character sheets get kind of expensive after a while. Wow.
Okay, so immediately.
Wait, hold on. Wait, hold on. I gotta follow offline. What the fuck?
It's probably one of my gaming group.
Maybe Darth Havoc just followed me.
Yep, that's one of the guys I'm playing.
That's so random. I'm gonna like edit this part out and put it at the very end of the video. That's so hilarious because I heard my music going. I'm like, wait, what happened? Wait, what the fuck? That's so hilarious. Thank you, Dark Havoc, if you're watching this video at the end.